Hi, it's Kieran here. There's been some confusion about this particular exercise here, about how to set up files in folders and things. So there are some instructions here, but one thing that some people miss is that there are also instructions in this screenshot itself, like text like standard.css is styled in standard.css. What I'm going to do is talk about files in folders and how you set up paths and things like that. Okay. So here I've created a subdomain called Keegan, because Keegan had originally asked me about this. And I've put some folders in there. By the way, I'll say directories sometimes instead of folders. They mean the same thing. All right. So in the root of the Keegan subdomain, we have animals folder, we have a plants called folder, and a file called joke. So if I go to down here in a browser to keegan.kieranmatheson.com, and we just look in the root of that, we see animals, a folder, a file called joke, and then another folder called plants. And you can see that this matches exactly what's up here. Okay, we'll look at animals later, but let's go into the plants directory. Here, I've got a folder called funny, a file called flower.png, and a page called mypage.html. In fact, if I go down here in the browser, look at the same thing, we see the same thing. We have flower, funny, and mypage. They're sorted differently, but it's the same stuff. Okay, over here on the right is the file, let me hit that. This is mypage.html, as you can see. So this is going to edit this thing over here, and so we can look at it. All right, and then when we've done that, we can see what it's like in a browser. By the way, to set this up, all I did was right-click, did an edit, and then I took the tab that, well, I'll show you, edit, I'll edit that. Then I took the tab and I just dragged it out, and you can drag it to somewhere else on the screen. So that's all I did, and I've got several different files open over for editing that we'll see as we go through. Okay, so let's make a page. Let's see what my page looks like so far. All right, there it is, and it matches. We've got my page. Not much to it. All right, let's put an image in here. Let's put the flower. Okay, so we want to see the flower. That's this thing right here. So I'll put alt flower. Seems like a good thing. WER, and I'll type /flower.png. So does that work? It looks like it would. Flower.png /flower.png. Okay, I'll save those changes. We'll go down to the browser here and we'll refresh. Ready? Oh, it didn't work. Huh. How could that not work? I don't understand. It says flower, and this is flower over here. Okay, and this is flower. What could possibly be going? I wonder, well, let's check the source page, view page source rather, just to make sure it's what I expect. Yeah, it is. See, this matches exactly that. What view page source lets you do is take any page on the web, one you made or one someone else made, it really doesn't matter. You can right click, view page source, Control U is a shortcut on Windows, and you can see the HTML behind that page. And of course, seeing we made this file, it should be exactly the same. We can see it is. One of the nice things about view page source is then you can take this, which could be a CSS file or whatever, and you can click on it. So let's see the picture of the flower. Wait a minute. What? How can that be? It says not found. It couldn't find this flower picture. How come? It's right there. There it is. Well, actually, there's a hint here in the URL. So let's see. It's the path to the image that's incorrect, to the file. See, I've got a slash there. What that slash says to the browser, it says, okay, browser, go back up to the root of the site and then look for a file called flower. And you can see that down here in this URL. Remember what I did. Here is the source code of the page we tried to look at. I'm going to click on flower.png. Let's click on that. And then the browser will show me that file. Okay, so I click on it. It's trying to show me a file that says go back to the root of the site, which is what this first root of the subdomain, which is what that is, and then shows /flower. So it's looking for flower up here because of that slash. So that's not going to work. Wait a minute, there is a file called joke. So at the root of the site, there is a file called joke. So what would happen if I left the slash there and I'll put in joke instead? Okay, so there's that. Let's change the... Okay, so if the slash works the way I think it does, then let's just save that. I'll go. Then what should happen is that this page will show, the browser will go to the root of the site, try to show joke.png. Here's the root of the site over here. See, I'm clicking that. And we can tell that by going back to here. And we see at the root of the site, there is a file called joke.png. So that's what's in my page now. So let's go have a look at my page and see if it shows the jokes. I got plants. All right, let's have a look at my page. Aha! There's the file. So I'll scroll down a bit. I need air support. Follow your dreams. Okay. I thought that was funny anyway. Okay, so what we've got is that when you put a slash in front of a file there, and it could be a source, it could be the href and an image, it could be the href and a CSS, we'll work with that in a minute. It doesn't really matter. Any file reference, you put a slash in there, that tells the browser to go back to the root of the site. Okay, let's go back to, by the way, I can come down here in this browser, click View Page Source again. Okay, there's the same HTML that we typed in. I'll click on this guy. Aha! You can see that here's the URL, /joke. It's going to the browser's going to the root of the subdomain and then showing the joke. Okay, that's fine, but we really want a picture of a flower down here. We don't want a picture of this joke as funny as it is. So let's go back to the directory. It's called plants, where the flower is. Now, instead of a slash, what if I leave off the slash and do this? All right. So when the slash is there, that tells the browser what folder to look for the file in. The slash says go back to the root of the site. When there's no folder there, what does the browser do? Does it panic and say, I don't know where to go? No, it doesn't, fortunately. It says, okay, there's nothing telling me what folder to go to. So I'm going to start looking in the same folder where this file is. So this file, it's called mypage.html. You can see it there. And it's over here in this directory. It's in the directory Keegan Plants. There it is there. So this says, and here's the contents of my page, this file right here. So what's HTML says, go grab the file flower. The browser looks at this and says, I don't know, where is flower? Oh, there's no path there, there's no slash, there's nothing. So I'll look in the same directory where this file is. All right, so let's go down here and we'll refresh my page. Oh, maybe we have to save this first. We'll try that again. Hooray! Victorious Avant-Garde! So we've got the flower now. If we do a view page source, all right, there it is. This is the HTML here that we've typed up here. Let me click on flower.png. There it is. But look at the URL now. Remember before it was the root of the site / the file. But now it's the root of the site slash plants flower. Why plants? Because that's where this file is. So the file it referred to, flower, was in the directory plants. There it is right there. You can see it's in the directory plants, right? So that means that you can tell that the browser is actually looking in the folder plants. Like I said, folder and directory mean the same thing. Directory was the original name that I learned back in the 70s. And I'm really old, and old people suck. So I'm going to say the wrong name. We're terrible. We smell funny. We don't know the right music. We know silly dances, and really, just better to get rid of us. Just put us all down. All right. Okay, so that's there. Okay, now let's go back to this plants thing. So there's my page. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to the root of the site. Now, actually, under plants, there's another folder called funny. You can see it down here, and you can see it down here. And in that, I put a file called kissflower. So under slash plants, remember slash says go back to the root, slash plant slash funny, there's the file kissflower. You can see that up here as well. This is the plants directory. I'll double click on funny. We're now in the funny directory. You can see there, and there's that kissflower.png. Now let's go back to my page, and I want to change. Remember, my page is in the plants folder, and I want to change this so it's going to show kissflower. So let me type in K-I-S-S, kissflower. All right, K-I-S-S flower, K-I-S-S flower. That's fine. K-I-S-S flower. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to save that. All right, so that's what we've got. I'm going to go, let's go to the parent directory here. I'm in plants funny. Parent directory is going to take me up to just go to plants. All right, so parent directory is just the one above, or parent folder. Okay, so here we are. Here's my page. This is my page, remember? My page up here. Okay, there it is. And here's the link to my page down here. So let's try that. No kissflower. Huh. What's going on? I'll do page source. So this is the same HTML. Let's try this. The browser says, okay, kissflower, not found. Well, where is it? What folder is it looking in? So it can't find it. Let's look up this. Well, remember, if you leave off, if you don't put anything here in front of this file name, okay, the browser starts in the same directory that this file is in. Well, this file is in the directory plants. So it should be looking in plants for kissflower. We look down here, and in fact, we can see that in the URL. It is looking in the directory plants for kissflower. And it's not there. Well, of course it's not there. Here's where my page is. That's not where the kissflower is. It's down the directory funny. So there are a couple of things I could do here. First, I could put in an absolute path. And this is the wrong approach, but I'll show it to you anyway. I could say, okay, go up to the root with a slash, then go down into the plants directory, and then another slash, then go down into the funny folder or directory. Okay, so let's see what this says. This says, okay, when you want to show this kissflower, slash, remember, means go up to the root. So that'll take us back up to here. And from there, go down to plants, which will take us down to here. And from there, go down into funny, which will take us down to here. And there is the folder. I mean, sorry, there is the file we want to show. Kissflower. So that should work. Let's save it. All right. Close this one. We don't want to view the source anymore. So here we are back on my page. I'll refresh it. And there it is. So that's called an absolute path. We can see if we do that view page source thing again. By the way, you can see how useful view page source is. That's one lesson to take from this. You can explore and debug, diagnose what issues you might have. So here, this is exactly what I typed. Let me click that, and there it is. This is, and you can see that we got subdomain, then go down to plants, then go down to funny, and then find kiss flower. All right? It looks pretty good. So that's one way to refer to kiss flower. Remember, that's what we've got. We've got, in the plants folder, we've got mypage.html, and we want to show a file, a picture, that's actually in the funny folder. So this is one way to do it. But there's a simpler way. Remember what I was saying is that if you leave off this, if I did this, this wouldn't work because the browser will be saying, okay, let me find plants in the directory where this is. So it'd be looking for plants in the plants directory. Well, there isn't one. It's called funny. But we can actually use that to our advantage too. What if I delete that and delete that? Aha! So this is called a relative path. So paths that begin with a slash is called an absolute path because you're starting at the absolute top of the root. You're targeting a particular point. That's really what absolute means. Starting at a particular point. This one is a relative path. This one starts at the folder where this page is. So let's see what should happen. So we've got funny. So there's no slash. The browser will say, okay, I'm going to start in the directory where this is. And this is my page. Where is my page? Here you can see it's in plants, right? It's right here. So starting there, go down into the folder called funny, all right, and then find kiss flower. So starting where we are, go down into funny and then look for kiss flower. So it should find it. All right, so let's save that. Let's go down here again. Let's refresh. And there it is. How about that? We'll look at the source again. Here's that relative path. Okay, so let's click on this. And let's look at the URL here. So the path is funny kiss flower. The URL that resolves to is /plant/funny/kiss flower. Why? Because this folder, this file is in the folder plants already. So this stuff gets tacked onto the end of the URL of this file. So we've got absolute paths and relative paths. Absolute paths, you start with a slash. Relative paths, you just start with the folder where the current page is. Almost always, you want to use relative paths. There aren't that many cases for absolute. One advantage, by the way, of relative paths is I could take this entire plants directory, I could copy it, or just move the whole thing to another server, and as long as I keep the relationships between the files the same, it would still all work. Because this says, no matter where, this path says, no matter where this page is, start there, then go down to funny. So it really doesn't matter where this thing is, as long as there's a folder underneath it called funny that has kiss flower in it. Now let's say I did want to include joke in this. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. Well, there are a couple of ways to do that. Remember, joke is up here on the root of the site. Here it is, joke.png. The easiest way, and so if you want to think about this for a minute, seeing joke is up at the root, what's the easiest way to do this? We've probably already worked it out. It's /joke. Okay. So this one says, no matter where this file is, it doesn't matter, no matter where this HTML is, go back to the root of the site and look for a file called joke. So let's save that. Let's see if that works. Refresh. Wow, look at that. If I look at view page source, here's /joke. I'll click that, and you can see the URL. It says go back to the root of the site, look for a file called joke, which is the one we actually wanted in this case. There's another way to write this as well. And we're actually going to use this other way in a minute. And that's to do something like this. I think that's, we'll have to, the dot means go up one, go to the parent. Okay, so I might need I'm not sure yet. Anyway, where are we? This file here, mypage.html, here it is over here. You see it there. That is in the plants directory. Now, this path doesn't start with a slash. It starts with the dot. So that means start where you are. Dot means jump up a level. So the dot will mean start in plants. Oop, I've got this path incorrectly. There we go. Go up a level. So if we go up a level here, and I'm going to actually go to this up one level button. Ready? Click. All right. And then look for the file. So this should work. It should say starting in plants, go up a level. Here we go, up one, and then look for the file joke. So let's save that. Let's see if that works. It does. Let's look at the source code again. Here's that. It's still a relative path, right? Except it says go up a level. So let's click that. There it is. That all works for just fine. Hooray! Victory of Sovereign God! All right. So that's that example. Now what I'm going to do now is move on to something a bit different. Under the animal subdirectory, to look at something that's more like what we'd actually try to do. So here we've got, under animals, we've got two folders, one called Cattos and one called Doggos. Of course, Doggos are better, but anyway, we'll do that. I suppose Cattos are okay too. So I don't know why, if dogs are called Doggos, cat should be called Cattos, shouldn't they? So under Doggos, we've got something like a site that we might actually have, although I've messed with it a little bit. Under Cattos, all we've got is a picture of the grumpy cat. And you've probably all seen this particular image. It's quite amusing. All right. So we can actually see all this on the folder here. If I go up to here, we can see, so here's plants we're working before, there's joke. Now here we've got animals. Click that. That's this folder here. We can see it as Cattos and Doggos according to File Manager. Well, you can see them down here. Cattos and Doggos. Let's look in Cattos. Let's look in Cattos. There's the grumpy cat. We'll see what it looks like. Yep, that's a grumpy cat. All right. Okay, let's go back up to the parent directory. Let's go back up. By the way, clicking parent directory is like a dot. All right, so dot. That's that in that path. Okay, let's go down into Doggos and see what we've got. Let's go down into Doggos. All right, so this is more like a typical site. We've got a file called Renata, and let's go have a look at that. Here it is. It says Renata is a good doggo, which is of course true. She is a good doggo. We have in the folder Rosie, which is a folder under Doggos, we have Rosie, and of course she is a good doggo as well. Under styles, we have a style sheet, and there's not much to it. It just looks like that. So it sets the background color of the page, set the color, and set the font family to Candara, which actually someone in our class started using this, and I thought it was really cool. So I use it too. Now in the images, I realized I forgot to put the doggo images there. So what I'm going to do through the magic of video is I'm going to stop time. Ready? Stop. Okay, time's restarted, and now we can see we've got pictures of doggos. Okay, so we've got a catos directory with Grumpy Cat, and then doggos directory. We've got two web pages. One is Renata here in the doggos directory. The other is actually in the Rosie directory. Why? Just because. Under styles, we have a simple CSS file, and under images, we have pictures of our doggos. Okay, so let's go back to here. Let's go to Renata. All right, here's, let's go on our website. We'll go look at the Renata page. So here it is. So this page is at Animals, Doggos, Renata. And we want to insert a picture of Renata right here. Now that picture is actually down in the images directory, right? So Renata is right here in the Doggos directory. The picture is in Doggos images. So we could use an absolute path, but like I said, almost always you don't use a relative one. So we'll say starting where you are, which this file is in Doggos, as you can see. Go down to the images directory, right, which is this one, and then grab renata.jpg and share that. So /renata.jpg. Okay, I'm going to save. Let's see if that works. Save that. Come over here, reload, and there's Renata. She's reading a book. It's a book that I use that kind of uses the same approach to designing courses and implementing courses that I use when I was studying learning. So there she is. That worked fine. If I look at the source, view page source, this is the source of this file we're looking over here. It's the file renata.html. As you can see, it says, to show an image, start where you are, go down into the images folder and look for a file called Renata. If I hit that, we can see the URL here. This file Renata.html is in Doggos. So starting in Doggos, go down to images and grab Renata. So that'll work. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's put in the styles. The styles file is called styles.css. Now we want to include that, and I want to put in the link right there. So Renata is in Doggos, so we want to say go down. We don't want to do this, right, because that would take us back to the root of the site. We want to say go down to the styles folder from where you are, and then grab styles.css. And I could call this file anything, really. The styles.css, I could call it these are Doggos styles, it really wouldn't matter. Okay, so I've got that there, right? This says from where you are, go down into the styles folder, it's this one here, and then look for a file called styles.css. Let's see if it's there. Hey, it's a good. So I'll save. All right, does that make sense? We'll go down here, I'll refresh this one, and notice now we've got the styles being applied. Let's have a look at the source code, view page source. Here we can see, here's a relative link. All right, it says, let's see if we click this, which says go down to the styles folder and look for the styles CSS, click that, and we can see the styles file. And you can see its URL is animals doggos. That's where Renata.html is. Go down into styles, and then look for styles.css, and there it is. Victorious Sovngarde. Okay. Now, let's change things a little. Let's look at Rosie. Now, Rosie's, for some reason, I don't know why, Rosie's page is not in the Doggos folder. It's in a folder called Doggos Rosie. I don't know why that is. I think Cthulhu wanted it that way. So here is Rosie. So this is the content of this Rosie file. Okay, so if we look at here is Rosie. So let's put in Rosie's picture. So let's see if we can figure out the path from this file here up to the image. Well, I have to go up one level. So I'm going to go up here. Look at this. Up one level, right? Click that. Then I have to go down into images. And there's the picture. So from this file, I'm going to have to go up one level, dot, dot, slash, down into the images folder. Is it JPG? And then I do that. So hopefully that'll work. I'll save changes. Let's go back to Rosie here. Oh, what the heck is going on? Rosie.jpg. What is going on? Actually, I don't know. Images. Where are we? This one is animals, doggos, Rosie, Rosie.html. What is going on? Oh, I put it in the wrong place, didn't I? I put it where the href is. Some of you saw that in me going, what a drongo. Paste that in there. All right. Let's try that again. What do you think? Bet your dollar it'll work. Hooray! Give me $1. No, you don't. All right. So that worked. Now, let's say we want to add the style sheet. So here we are in the Rosie folder. The style sheet, we want to go up one level, okay, down, then down into styles, and that's where we find that file. So let's go back over here. We're going to up one level, then down into styles, then styles.css. Let's see if that works. Sabe, over here, refresh. Whoa, how about that? All right, let's say I want to, let's go back to doggos, and I want to make a new file this time showing the grumpy cat. All right, and I'm going to put the file, let's say, well, actually, let's make a new folder for it. So I'm going to make a new folder, and we're going to call it Grumpy. All right, there we are. And I'm going to go into Grumpy, and I'm going to make a new file called, well, it's called Grumpy. No, I'll call it something else, Cato. Cato.html. There we go. All right, I'm going to take this HTML and copy and paste as my friend. Now I'll show you how I'm going to edit this. I'm going to right click on that, click edit. I'm going to drag this tab over to here, just to keep it with all of the others. So here's Cato. I'll paste that in there, and I'm going to need to modify these two things. So this is Grumpy, UMPY, Grumpy, Control V, what a UMPY Cato. Now let's see. So this file, cato.html, if I go to doggos here, by the way, you can see that, oh, it did show it, okay. It's in the Grumpy folder. All right, let's do this one first. So to show the styles we want, if we're in Grumpy, we need to go up one level and then go down into styles. Let's pick up style sheets. Well, that's already what we've got here, right? So I'm not going to need to change that. This says go up one level and then go down into styles. All right. Now, how about the image? Let's see what we've got. So Grumpy is down here. Well, the image is totally wrong. Let's get rid of that. There are a couple of ways to do this. I could use an absolute or relative path. Like I said, you almost always use a relative. So I'm going to use that. So here we are. This is the folder where this file is. So this file is Keegan, doggos, animals, doggos, Grumpy, Cato. All right, see that right there? And here's Cato over here. See it's that file. You can see it's this file. All right. So what's the path going to be to get to the Grumpy Caddo file? Well, let's see. We have to start here in the Grumpy folder. I'm going to go up one level. Okay, we're not there yet, are we? We have to go, but I'll do it later. Okay. Then we go up another level. So we've gone up a level, then up another level. Then down into Caddos, and there's our directory, and there's our file. So let's put that over here. Remember, we're in this one. So we need to go up one level, up another level, down into Caddos, and then we should find the file, which is called that. One thing I often do is copy file name. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on it again. Control A to select everything. Then Control K to copy it. Now I'll hit escape so I don't accidentally change the name. I'll go back over here. I often do this for all sorts of things. Control V. All right. So what this says, if you're here in this Grumpy directory, to get the image, go up to the parent again, down into Caddos, and find grumpycaddo.png. Okay? In fact, we should be able to duplicate that here. Well, let's not worry about that. All right. So let's see if this works. I'm going to save this. Okay. Let's go back here. We'll go into animals. We'll go into doggos. This is where the grumpy cat is. In fact, yeah, we will see that. So this is, Grumpy is actually in here. All right. So this is this file. We should be able to follow that path and get to the image. So this says up one, up to the parent again, go to Caddos. So down here we go up to the parent again, down into Caddos, and there's the file. Right? So we'll go back a couple of steps, back to Grumpy. Okay, so that should work. Did I save it? Yeah, I did. All right, ready? Whoa, look at that. So we've got the CSS working, and we've got a picture of a cat. I'll control U, which remember is view source. Click on this, and you can see that path style CSS resolved to animals, doggos, styles of CSS. Went up a level into doggos, then down to styles, and found that one. We click on this, which is go to parent, then down to Caddos, then Grumpy Pat. That resolved to Keegan, animals, Caddos, grumpycaddo.png. Bing, bang, bang. Sounds like a ricochet. Bing. Okay, that's it. So remember that there are absolute paths and relative paths. Absolute paths start with things like, we can make an absolute path with this. It starts with the slash. This is a relative path that starts with anything else except for a slash, right? So this one's dot means parent. So this path navigates from the folder where this is to the folder where the destination file is. So you can think of it as that, as navigating. We could make this an absolute path, which would be /animals /Caddos. Now I wouldn't do this, it would work. If I go down here, it's going to work, or not. I messed it up somehow. And, oh, because I typed Cattoos. Let's try that again. Sabe. I still didn't get it right, did I? Grumpy Caddo? Is it called that? No, it's not called that. It's called Caddos Grumpy. What did I do? animals, caddos, grumpycaddo.png. What did I do on this? That's the root, right? Then we go down to animals, then down to caddos. Oh, I got caddos in there twice. Look at that. Oh, by the way, see how many mistakes I make? I make lots of mistakes. And I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm really old, like really old. Actually, closer to 40 years now, think about it. That's how old I am. I forget how old I am. Wow. So if I'm going to make mistakes like this, you're going to make mistakes like this. So if you make a mistake like this, I don't want to hear you say, oh, that's stupid. I don't want to hear you say that, and you shouldn't. I don't want to hear you thinking it either. And yes, I can hear your thoughts. And I'll click Sabe, and then do this, and there it is. Okay? So that's it. I hope that helps.